Welcome to lecture number 32 for ECE 341 Random Processes. In this lecture, we'll look at analysis of variance, or Anova. Now, analysis of variance is a second use of F distributions. It's used to compare the means of three or more populations. Now, what analysis of variance does is it tests the hypothesis that all populations have the same mean. The alternative hypothesis is at least one population's mean is different. The result of this is an F-test. So here's kind of the idea. Suppose I have three different populations. What I'm going to do is find out what is the variation of the three distributions relative to the global average versus the sum squared difference of the data to the local averages. Now what you should have is the sum squared difference to the global average is more than the sum squared difference to the local averages. So take that ratio. So this is the F score. What is this sum divided by that sum? If the two ratios are basically the same, meaning the F score is close to 1, then I conclude that all three populations have basically the same mean. If it's much, much bigger than 1, then I conclude that at least one population has a mean that's different. So that's the idea. So I've got two terms, the mean sum squared between data sets, MSSB, that's the sum squared difference of each data set to the global average, and mean sum squared within data sets, mean sum squared distance to the local means. That's your F score. Now, I'm going to do a couple definitions. K is the number of data sets, and here we're just assuming 3. Lowercase a are data from each data set. Capital A bar, B bar, C bar, is the average of each data set. NA, NB, NC is the number of data points. S is the variance of each data set. Capital N is the total number of data points. G bar is the global average. And SG is the global variance. So here's the idea. The numerator is the mean sum squared between columns. What I do is I find the global average. The global average is just the sum of all the data divided by the total number of data points. There's your global average. I'll then take the distance of the data in A to the global average squared, the sum squared difference between a distance from the B to your global average squared, and the sum squared distance of C to your global average squared. Add them all up. That's the mean sum squared between columns. The denominator is mean sum squared within columns. Take all the data. How far is A from its local mean? How far is B from its local mean? How far is C from its local mean? Squared. Add them all up. Take the average. That's the mean sum squared within columns. And notice I have to have the n-1 up here because it's relative to one global average, n-3 because it's relative to 3 local averages. Take the ratio of mean sum squared between columns and within columns. That's your F score. Now, I think that's the right way to do it. That's not the standard way to do it, but that's the correct way. That's kind of what you're trying to do here. So let's try that with an example. So let's try that. Let's take 3 data sets. A and B both have the same mean, variance of standard deviation 10 and 11. C has a slightly different standard deviation, but its mean varies from 20 to 50. Can I use analysis of variance to detect that C has a different variance? I want to have a sample size of 20. So let's try that in MATLAB. I'm going to do Monte Carlo simulation, 100,000 different runs. Here's population for A, B, and C. This is when C has the same mean. Make that same sample size. Now the mean is 50, so here's the mean of C. The number of data points for A, B, and C. Number of teams. The global average is just stack all the data together, find the average. That's the global average. Mean sum between columns is the distance of the data A, B, and C to the global average. So just pack all the data together, find the variance. That's the mean sum between columns. Mean sum within columns is the variance of A. So this is the sum of A minus A bar squared clearing out the denominator, sum of b minus b bar squared, sum of c minus c bar squared, divided by 1 over n minus k. That means sum within columns. There's the f-score. I'll repeat 100,000 times and see what I get. So if I collect data 20 samples from each population, the f-value you're looking for is either 1.4 to be 90% certain or 2.8 to be 99% certain. That can be found using StatTrack. Here's the numerator degrees of freedom, 60 data points minus 1 global mean, denominator degrees of freedom, 60 data points with 3 local means. Here's the confidence level, the f-score I'm looking for. Okay. Now let's try that with the mean of C being 20, 30, 40, 50. I ran 100,000 Monte Carlo simulations, and here's the f-score, what they look like. Now what this is telling me, I want to be 90% certain that these scores are different. The mean of C has to be at least 40, double the mean of A and B, and then it's like 50-50 if I could detect it. It's got to be more like 50 to detect it at 90% certainty. To be 99% certain, it has to be at least 50. So it can detect differences in the means, but it can't be subtle. The mean of C has got to be like double, 2.5 times as big. Then the f-test will detect it with the sample size of 20. If I increase the sample size to 100, then this is what it looks like if the mean of C is the same. Basically, it'll show up as being the same. If it's 30, it's half the time I can detect it at 90% certainty, half not. So if the mean of C is 40, I can definitely detect it at 90 and 99% certainty. 50 is definitely out there. So given enough data, I can see a difference in the means, but it might take a lot of data. So that's, in my opinion, the correct way to do it, analysis of variance. That is not the standard way to do it. The standard way uses only its population's mean, variance, and sample size. Sometimes that's good. For example, in your data, what I had to have in this case, I actually used all the data. Sometimes you don't have all the data. Sometimes all that you're given is the mean of A, actually, wrong variable, the mean of A, the variance of A, or standard deviation of A, variance of A, and the sample size of A. If that's all you're given, then I can't really do this because I can't find how far is each data point from the global average. In that case, I need to make some approximations. Those approximations are what the standard method uses. They also use the approximations even when you have all the data, which in my opinion is the wrong way to do it, but that's the standard way of doing it. So here's kind of how that works. This is what I really want. I want to find out what is the sum squared difference between all the data in A from the global average. That's what I want. If I don't know all the data points, what I'll do instead is say this is almost the same thing as the average of A. How far is the average of A from the global average squared times the sample size? Now when you square, that's not a linear function, so these two are not the same. But if all I have is the local average of A, the sample size of A, that's about all I can do. Likewise for B and C. Instead of dividing by n minus 1, I just have k minus 1. So here I've got 3 sets of data. Minus 1 per degree of freedom for global average gives you divide by 2. So this is almost mean sum squared between difference between columns. It's not. But that's the standard way of doing it. This assumes that the sum of AI minus G bar squared is the same as sample size times A bar minus G bar squared. It ain't. It's not. This isn't a square function, a linear function, but this is the standard way to do it. Seeing what the difference is, if I go back and repeat a Monte Carlo simulation using the standard way in my opinion, the incorrect way of doing analysis of variance. The f-scores that I'm looking for is the numerator now has 2 degrees of freedom. I've got 3 data sets minus 1. Denominator is 57 degrees of freedom. 60 data points minus 3 local averages. The f-scores I'm looking for are 2.38 and 4.98. If I do Monte Carlo simulation using the standard way to calculate these, here's my data. Find the mean of A, sample size, variance of A. All these calculations, I don't use the actual data. This is all I use, just the mean, sample size, and variance. Here is the global average, another way to calculate it. Here's mean sum between columns, that's approximate, using the standard way of doing it. Mean sum within columns, that actually is the same. And here's the f-score. What this gives you is, if I have a sample size of 20, if the mean of C is the same as A and B, it sometimes actually fails at 90% confidence level. Usually it passes at 99%. If the mean is C at 30, it's about 50-50 at 99% confidence level. Usually detects at 90. If the mean of C is 40, it pretty much always detects it. If the sample size is 100, then the two means being the same, it actually fails fairly often at 90% confidence level, not so much at 99%. If the mean of C is 25, it usually picks it up at 90% confidence, most of the time at 99. Mean of C of 30, it almost always picks it up. So it kind of works, the standard way of doing it. There's a whole lot more noise in it. And you're also sometimes falsely rejecting data that is the same mean. So that's the standard way of doing it. In this class on the homework, use either method. I personally would use the correct method. That's really the idea behind analysis of variance. The standard method is standard. You go to industry, they'll want you to use the standard method. For me, use either one. Kind of a sidelight, there is a thing called analysis of variance table. And here's what it looks like. What you do is you take your data, A, B, and C, and stick it in here. Down at the bottom, I'll take the data, find the mean of A, mean of B, mean of C. From these three means and the sample size, I can find the global mean. I'll have the sample size of A, B, and C, the total sample size, the sum of those. The sum squared between columns is, we'll talk about that in a sec, this number. Mean sum squared between columns. Over here on the right, this is the distance of A to A bar squared, summed up. Distance of B to B bar squared, C to C bar squared. Sum squared within columns, mean sum squared within columns. Then the f-score is the ratio of these two. This is a tabular way of doing the exact same thing that's done in this MATLAB code. So if you like MATLAB, I'd use this code. If you like tables, use this. Same thing. Where they come from is, there's your data. The mean of A is just the mean of A, B, and C. The global mean is the global mean. Total number of data points. Number of points in sample size A, B, and C. Sum squared between columns is this computation. Mean sum squared between columns is that computation. The pink on the right is the A minus A bar squared. Sum of A minus A bar squared. Sum squared within columns. Mean sum squared within columns. And the f-stat. So if you ever see an analysis of variance table, that's what it looks like. That's where it comes from. So let's do a couple examples. If I go to Hector Airport's been measuring temperatures in Fargo since 1942. Here's what the data looks like. Let's compare 3 decades. Are the 1950s versus 60s versus 70s. Is the temperature changing? Do all three of these have the same mean? Let's do that using analysis of variance. So here's the data. Here's the mean, standard deviation, sample size. Here's what the data looks like. It actually looks like it was cooling off between the 50s and 70s. But use the standard method. Here's your data. Find the means, the variances, the sample size, do the calculations. Here's the F-score. Here's the result. The F-score is 0.2024. You can't get an F-score less than 1. This is less than 1 because the standard method is using approximations that aren't exactly correct. So you get an F-score less than 1. F-score less than 1 basically means no difference in the means. If you use the correct method, in my opinion, the non-standard method, you've got all the data. How far is the data from the global mean squared? Let's use the global mean. Here's the mean sum between columns, within columns. Here's the F-score. F is 1.1. It's bigger than 1, like it should be. And if we go to StatTrack and plug in those numbers, again, I've got 30 data points in the numerator minus 1 global average, 29 degrees of freedom. 30 data points, 3 local averages, 27 degrees of freedom in the denominator. The F-stat is 1.1, meaning 60%. Basically, there's 60% chance that the means are different. I couldn't really tell there's a difference in 3 data points between those first 3 decades. That's the non-standard method, which in my opinion is the correct way of doing it. Second example, let's compare the 1940s to the 1980s to 2010. Is there a difference? Difference in the means? Well, again, you take your data, find the mean, find the standard deviation. So here's the PDF for the 40s, the 40s, 80s, 2010s. Sure looks like it's getting warmer. Does that show up in analysis of variance? So let's analyze that. Here's a table, tabular way of doing it, another way. Here's data between the 40s, 80s, 2010s. Grind it all out. Here's the F-score. Using MATLAB, here's the data. Here's the F-score. Again, this is using the standard method. From StatTrack, what that means is 0.99. 99% likely the means are different. Or something's changing. So that's analysis of variance. For this class, you can use either method, the non-standard method, which I think is more correct, or the standard method, which is standard. Your pick. So kind of in summary, F-tests allow you to compare variances. A large F-score tells you that the variance is changing. Analysis of variance allows you to compare the means of 3 or more populations. The result is an F-test. A large F-score tells you that at least one population has a mean that's different. What that tells you is that the data comes from different populations, different production runs, different batches, different manufacturers, or that something's changing the system, like temperatures are increasing. The F-test does not, or analysis of variance does not tell you which population is different. To do that, I need to use a t-test. And with that, that is lecture number 32 for Random Processes, Analysis of Variance.